Story of Moses. Moses was a Hebrew baby saved from Pharaoh's decree to kill all newborn boys when his mother placed him in a basket on the Nile, where he was found and raised by Pharaoh's daughter. After killing an Egyptian who was beating a Hebrew slave, he fled to Midian, where God later appeared to him at a burning bush, commanding him to lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt. With his brother Aaron, Moses confronted Pharaoh, and after 10 devastating plagues, Pharaoh finally released the Israelites. When Pharaoh's army pursued them, Moses parted the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites to escape. In the wilderness, he received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai and led the people for 40 years, performing miracles like providing water from a rock and manna from heaven. Due to an act of disobedience, God did not allow him to enter the Promised Land. Instead, he saw it from Mount Nebo before dying, leaving behind a legacy as one of history's greatest prophets and leaders. Moses' story begins in Egypt, where the Israelites had been enslaved for generations. Fearing their growing population, Pharaoh ordered all Hebrew baby boys to be killed. To save her son, a Hebrew woman named Jochebed placed her baby in a basket and set it afloat on the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter discovered the child, named him Moses, and raised him as her own in the royal palace. Although he grew up as an Egyptian prince, Moses knew of his Hebrew heritage. One day, he witnessed an Egyptian beating an Israelite slave and, in a moment of anger, killed the Egyptian. Realizing his crime was known, he fled to the land of Midian, where he married Zipporah, the daughter of a priest, and became a shepherd. Years later, while tending his flock near Mount Horeb, Moses saw a bush that was burning but not consumed. From the flames, God spoke to him, commanding him to return to Egypt and free the Israelites from slavery. Though Moses doubted himself, God assured him that he would be with him and sent his brother, Aaron, to assist him. When Moses and Aaron confronted Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Israelites, Pharaoh refused. In response, God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt, including turning the Nile to blood, infestations of frogs and locusts, and 3 days of darkness. The final plague, the death of the firstborn, led Pharaoh to relent, allowing the Israelites to leave. That night, they marked their doors with lamb's blood, so the angel of death would pass over them, an event commemorated as Passover. As the Israelites journeyed out of Egypt, Pharaoh changed his mind and sent his army after them. Trapped between the Red Sea and the approaching soldiers, Moses stretched out his staff, and the waters parted, allowing the Israelites to cross on dry ground. When the Egyptians followed, the waters crashed back, drowning the entire army. Now free, the Israelites traveled through the wilderness, where God provided for them by sending manna from heaven and water from a rock.